Hey, what's up YouTube land? I'm Frederick G with this very special video for you today. Today I've got a friend with me and we're going to do some RC stuff for you. Here, what I have here in front of me is the Traxxas Slash 4x4 two-wheel drive. This one is a very special body. It is the four-wheel parts body with a centered 10, which is actually quite rare. On the other hand, we have one more guest with us today. This guy we call Muscles. However, he is just a Torment with a lot of upgrades. So, big hand for Muscles, he's a real trooper. So the first thing we're going to do today is just shoot some basic running, and then we'll give you some specs with the body off, and then we'll go from there. Alright. Here you have Muscles. He shall be our first contender.
He has a special VW bug on it. It is a brushless Torment with Stampede tires on it. So it's a Baja bug. And then we have
the Traxxas Slash. Here, this guy is a lot older than Muscles, but he is still a very good short course truck.
This guy has VFGs on the front and Proline calipers on the back to give it a lot more grip. As you can see here, look at those tires.
Yes, these tires are very good for racing. The Slash can get up to speeds of 60 miles an hour, but in the current form we can get about 35 because we are only running a 2S LiPo with stock gearing.
7600 mAh.
Now, on the other hand, now we shall show you Muscles in his speed form. He is being run on a 3S LiPo, stock Torment gearing, and you can see he's got some serious power. Not as much as the Slash, but he is still a very good contender. So now let's take him inside and show you what they got.
Alright, here in the garage. So, as we take the body off, you can see. Alright, so Muscles first.
Muscles, as you can see, has a Traxxas 3S LiPo. This is not stock, however, you can see here he has a Valenian fan, a Traxxas VXL 3S ESC, and he's got quite a few extra modifications. You have a Valenian motor, some energy shocks in the front,
8-scale buggy shocks in the front, too.
And in the rear are the energy shocks. As you can see, for any of you guys who know Traxxas, this looks very similar to a Stampede with a Torment rear bumper and a similar Slash front bumper. However, this is a Torment. On the other side of the table, we have our good old friend, the Traxxas Slash. This guy, pretty rare. You got a 2S LiPo here. Slight modifications have been made. This guy started as a brushed, but he became brushless when we modified him.
This guy was $100 off of Craigslist, so just check Craigslist. Every once in a while you could find good deals.
We have a VXL 3S right here, VXL motor right here, and we've got a Traxxas Max Torque servo. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You've got your basic shocks. These are actually not stock Traxxas Slash. These came off of a Torment. Not the Muscles, but a different Torment. And
so
got
both of these. So let's take a look at the controllers here. So we started Frankensteining the Muscles. So this is Muscles' controller. It's a Spectrum DX2E. It's very good. And then this one fell a few times, so we lost some range to this guy, but this is the stock
Traxxas TQI 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. As you can see just from this shot, that the Traxxas controller does not have very many functions. You've got your basic steering wheel, your trigger, and also a steering trim, along with a set button.
And then this one is a lot more complicated. Right here we have the steering, We have the trigger for gas, the light to turn it on. We have steering trim, but we have throttle trim. So I could go a little bit slower, but it still has, you could like modify it and stuff. Steering rate, haven't found out what that does. Bind, so it binds the controller.
This is steering and throttle reverse. So if you're like switched out from the factory, then that's an issue. The steering travel is how far you can steer when you pull the steering wheel all the way. Like here's an example. When I turn it all the way, muscles turns it all the way. But if I turn the steering trim down, then when I turn it all the way, you can see I turned it all the way, but muscles isn't turning as much. So that is the idea of the steering trim. So that's all for today, folks. You'll probably see a follow-up video afterwards. But until then, much love, Northlawn RCs.